Okay, so let's do a couple more law of sines examples. You'll notice that in this one, there's not a picture. There's just information that's given. So it's pretty much the same thing. We got to draw the triangle. So keeping in line, sine of A is 35.3 and B is 52.8. So I have an angle, and then notationally, when I say AC, I'm talking about the line length between the angle A and the angle C. I forgot to put my little mark on the top. So that's basically what we mean by that. So this is just, so when I draw this, what we have, right? So here is my angle A, right? Over here is my angle B. So we know this is 35.3. We know this is 52.8, right? So side C is not known, but the side AC, right, that length right here, we're told is 675. Okay, so just watch your notation there, and I better watch my notation as well. So that's a line segment, AC. That's how we designate it. So we basically have angle, side, which is a classic law of sine situation. So what do we got to find? We got to find angle C, we got to find side C, and we got to find side A. Right? Those are the three things that we've got to find based off of the information that we have. Again, because we have two of the angles, finding side C is going to be pretty easy. So we know that 35.3 degrees plus 52.8 degrees plus C is 180 degrees. And I think if we add these, we get 1, carry the 1, we get 8, 78, all right, 78.1 plus C equals 180 degrees. So subtracting 78.1 from both sides, we get C equals, I believe that'll be 0.91. I think that'll be 101.9. Let me make sure. All right, 0, carry the 1. Yep. All right, so let me just all double check with my technology. 180 minus 78.1. Yeah, 101.9 degrees. Okay, so we know that that's the larger angle. So this is 101.9 degrees. So how do I find C in side A? Our law of sine. So again, I like to use a given information. So the sine of 52.8 all over 675 will basically be equal to the sine of 35.3 all over side A. And then a quick cross multiplication, we basically get that A is the sine of 52.8 times 675 times the sine of 35.3 divide by the sine of 52.8, and we pretty much have our answer. Okay, so there's our A. And so using my calculator at this time, we have 675, oops, I better put that parentheses, 675 times the sine of 35.3, and we're dividing that by the sine of 52.8. Sure I got that right, yep. All right, and so what we end up getting is 489 point, it looks like 69.15. Alrighty, so there is our side A. Alright, so 49.6915. To find the side C, the work is pretty much the same. The sine of 52.8 over 675 is the angle C, which is the sine of 101.9 all over C. The algebra is pretty much the same. So if you guys are, this is the third time seeing it, if we cross multiply and divide, right, what we get is that C is 675 sine of 101.9 all over the sine of 52.8. All right, so we kind of established a pattern there in terms of solving for that remaining side. So going to my calculator, again, everything's pretty much the same, except the angle is no longer 35.3, right? It is 101 point, I better insert here, 9. Right, so we got 675, the sine of 101.9, and the sine of 52.8. Yep. All right, so when I press that, I get C is 829.2138. So 829.2138. So again, not just trusting my math, but also looking at this, right? The angle C is the largest angle. It's an obtuse angle, right? 101.9. And the side opposite is the largest side. A is the smallest angle, and that is the smallest side. 52.8 is the intermediate, and 675 sits between those two values. So that tells me I'm looking pretty good in terms of the geometry of what's supposed to happen with regard to all this. Okay, so just I think I don't know. I'll rush the next one. The work's pretty much the same. So again, we have 72.83, 42.57, and then a side A. So we have an angle, and a side. So looking at this particular one, right, my angle, right, better not draw it so obtusely. Sorry about that. So here's A. We don't know what angle A is. C is 72.83. And B is 42.57, right? And the side A, right, we know to be 26 and 14. All right, so we have basically a angle, side, angle, all right, is what we've got. So looking at this, we need to find the angle A, we need to find the side C, and we need to find the side B. And so that's what we basically have. Again, because I have two of my angles, finding angle A is the easiest thing to do. A plus 42.57 plus 72.83 equals 180 degrees. So I'll reach to a calculator. So 42.57 plus 72.83 gives us 115. So A plus 115.4 is equal to 180. So if we subtract 115.4 from both things, so 180 minus 115.4, we get 64.6. Okay, so 64.6 degrees is what our A is. So we definitely have a, it's not an obtuse triangle, which is okay, that happens, right? All our angles are less than 90. So there's our side, our angle A. To find our side C, again, perhaps we use what's given, right? So for A, we have the sine of A, which is 64.6 degrees, divided by what side A is, and that's equal to my angle C, sine of 72.83 divided by C. Again, if we cross multiply and divide, our C will be 2614 sine of 72.83, all divided by the sine of 64.6. All right, so there's our C value. Going to our calculator at this time, we have parentheses 2614 times the sine of 72.83, and we're going to divide that by the sine of 64.6. So I'm getting 2764.7564. So there's our side C. All right, so 2764.7564. So to find our side B, the work's the same. How about I use that same ratio, right? The sine of 64.6 all over 2614 is equal to my sine of 42.57, all divided by side B. Cross multiplying and dividing, right, we would end up getting that B is 2614, the sine of 52.57, all divided by the sine of 64.6. So it's pretty much the same math, except that angle has changed. So come over here, change that 72 point, change that to 42.57. And what we get is B is roughly 1957.5744. All right, so B is 1957.5744. Okay, so trusting my math, and then also looking at some things, right? The angle C is the largest side, right? And 2764 is the largest side. So largest angle goes with the largest side. Angle B is the smallest angle, and you notice that 1957 is the smallest side. A is the angle in between, right? It sits between 72 and 42, and then 2614 sits between those two values. So that's a nice, easy way to kind of check. So there's your law of sines. Hopefully, we're kind of also seeing algebraically a cross multiplication and a division. We keep kind of getting the same rhythm for that. All right, so there's your law of sines. We'll wrap this up with an application, look at some bearing, but we'll do that in a video coming soon.